So perhaps some of you have been wondering why I'm doing so many mechanical videos as opposed to anything else. And the answer to that really is that I'm planning on moving and using the van more often. For the school year, this was parked. I didn't really drive it at all. The one time I did try and drive it, obviously we had a huge problem with the transmission. So I've basically been fixing things up. That's the reason why I've been focused so heavily on getting this thing into shape. Another reason for that is just I would really like to get that RV insurance on the van. For those of you who've stuck around for a while, you'll know that I originally tried to get RV insurance on this. It didn't pass the inspection. There was just too much work that needed to be done. Well, I've slowly been whittling away at that to the point where I was actually quite happy with it. So I actually brought it down for an inspection. That was a whole story. It was a huge hassle. The first mechanic that I brought it to said that they would do it. I just told them what the vehicle was, told them the weight, told them all this stuff. They said that would be fine. Showed up day of, and they basically said we don't work on that type of vehicle at all. Is what it is, right? So I was actually able to bring it to another mechanic. Same day, had them look at it. Took forever, but they did do it. They failed it too. Some of the things they failed it for, I can at least understand. That's my, let me get this right, lower right hand ball joint and upper left hand ball joint. I've actually brought this in for a free inspection at another place that just looks at brakes and front end and that stuff. And they had flagged those as things that needed to be repaired down the line, but they weren't an immediate safety concern. However, the mechanic that I brought this to for the safety inspection, for the official inspection, said that the standards are different, and that for passing this sort of exam that I need for my insurance in order to change the body type, that they do need to be replaced, which is frustrating because it means more money, more time, all that stuff. But it's understandable. The other thing that they really didn't like is the seat that I'm sitting in right now. The passenger seat, and the only reason that they don't like it is because the stand that it's on is not made by a car manufacturer. Personally, I'd feel a lot safer in this seat if something were to happen than in the driver's seat, just because it has more points of contact. It's a better mount in many ways, but they don't like it. So the plan is remove that when I get my reinspection done, put it back in afterwards. Yeah, I'm not going to buy a new seat. The last ones were just stupid. So basically he said if there's a light on your vehicle, it has to work regardless of whether it's actually a legal requirement. I don't know about that. That was his interpretation. I had two lights on my window mirrors that have never worked. They've never been hooked up, and they didn't work. So he flagged them. I guess I can see that being like people. Sometimes those can be signal lights on trucks, so someone could look at that, see that it was off, and assume that I wasn't turning. I can see that. Understand that. The one that's really dumb is the light on my roof. I have a little amber spinning siren type light. It's really cool. I've always wanted it to work, but it never has. But I've never hooked it up for a specific reason, and that is that that's illegal. You have to have a special permit to have one of those on your vehicle that you get from the government. You have to be a certain type of work truck that is working on, and you have to be working on highways. Like if you're doing telephone lines along highways, stuff like that, they have those. If you aren't using it for those purposes and you're not, there's a couple other things, but that's the main one, and you don't have the permit, it is actually against the law to have one installed. That's why I never hooked it up. This mechanic insists that if it's on the vehicle, it has to work, and that I hook it up. Couldn't talk him out of it either. It's really stupid. So to legally pass this inspection, this mechanic insists that I hook something up that is technically illegal to my vehicle. Now, I would never get in trouble for this because I would never turn it on. I would never use it in any way on the thing. So it would have to be a perfect storm of bad luck for me to get fined for that. It's another one of those things that I intend to disconnect. It's kind of fun, but it's a liability, and I would never actually use it. So I will disconnect it after that inspection. However, when I did get home about a week ago, I did hook up the lights because they're super easy to do. I basically turned the lights on my mirrors into signals, and that one up there on its own separate switch on the dash, which has always been hooked up for that purpose, I believe, actually. And that's now working. So, I mean, hey, it makes it kind of a cool hazard light. So yeah, that one's fixed. Removing the seat, very simple. I'm sure won't be an issue. I should be able to do that pretty quickly on the day that I get that inspected. Just throw it in the back or something. The other thing with those ball joints, that's going to be a pain because you need special tools for them. I know in the States you can rent those tools. I don't believe you can up here, or at least not in this town. I will look into doing that for sure, or perhaps I'll put out a thing looking for that. But that will be the next step to replace those two ball joints. Replacing those, then I can just bring it back to the mechanic. I don't need to pay another thing, and actually pass that in inspection. So that is my plan. We'll see. I really don't know anything about replacing ball joints. I've watched a couple videos. It's pretty confusing. I just crawled under the van today to take a look to understand. Oh, I should probably mention there's a bit of a week gap here. I got this inspection done, and then I immediately went to help run a summer camp where I was pretty disconnected from everything. So that finished yesterday. So I've just come back to Cranbrook on my motorcycle, and I'm just trying to get the stuff done because that week, basically I have 4 weeks, right, 30 days to do all this stuff, to fix everything, unless I want to pay for a full re-inspection. So yeah, there's a week wasted time there, which kind of sucks, knowing how hard it is to get parts for this vehicle and everything. So tomorrow I will go down to the GM dealer and talk about getting those ball joints, and I will look into what I need to do for that. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more later in another video about why I'm moving and all that stuff if people are interested. But yeah, it's not immediate. Should be somewhat down the line. So I have a little bit of time. I should have that full 30 days here in Cranbrook. And I mean, obviously, about 9 of those have already been taken up. So time's a ticking, and hopefully I can get stuff back. This is just going to be a short video here, just basically explaining this is what's up. This is how things go. Yeah, this is just catching you guys up, and then hopefully the next video will be ball joints related, and or hopefully, that'd be great, getting RV insurance.